Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to break down how to sharpen your Fortnite IQ and awareness so you can absolutely dominate in your games. Whether you're grinding solos, climbing ranked, or competing in tournaments, these tips are for you. These are the things I've been doing for a while, and trust me, they make a massive difference in how you approach fights, rotations, and your overall gameplay in general. So, let's dive right into it. First off, let's talk about what to do when someone's pushing you hard. This is probably one of the most scary situations, especially if you're low on health and stuck in a box while someone's spraying their SMG or AR at you. The most important thing is to not panic. Instead, start building and moving. Create space by placing walls, ramps, or cones, and always extend your box, whether it's outwards, upwards, downwards, or back. This makes your opponent have to work harder to catch you, and it forces them to either waste their materials or leave themselves open to mistakes. I do this a lot, especially when I know I'm low on health and just need to regroup. If you're trying to heal or regroup in a moving zone, always use brick or metal to build, and these materials are harder to break and give you extra time to get those little extra needed heals. And save your word for when you need to build fast, like when you're rotating or doing quick defensive builds. Watch how pros like Quicks, Booga, PETERBOT handle pressure. They always keep their cool and make smart plays to turn the fight in their favor. Honestly, I try to copy that because it works so well. Next up, let's talk about playing smart and thinking ahead. Fortnite isn't just about building or editing fast, even though that is a key part in Fortnite. It's also about outsmarting your opponents. So you'll always want to think 2 steps ahead. For example, if you're fighting someone and they're holding a wall, you can predict that they'll probably edit soon. So pre-aim your shotgun at the spot where they're going to edit and be ready to shoot as soon as they make their move. You will have to work on your timing, but eventually you'll just get used to it. Another trick is to watch how your opponents build or edit. Most players have habits. They edit the same way or build the same patterns. And once you notice this, you can start countering them. Like, if they always build ramps above them, you can position yourself to shoot them as they peak. I've been trying to do this more often, and it's crazy how many fights I win just by staying 1 step or 2 steps ahead. Pros like Polarized are really good at this, or were really good at this, and they're always ahead of their opponents because they know what's going to happen next. The more you practice predicting moves, the easier fights will become. Now, let's get into pre-piecing. This is a mechanic that can give you a huge advantage in fights. Pre-piecing means placing builds like walls, floors, or cones around your opponent before they even realize it. This gives you control of the fight and limits their options. For example, if you're above someone's box, place a cone and floor so they can't build up. Then when they're trapped, you can edit those builds and take them out. Another good trick is to sneak a cone into their box while they're distracted. Later, you can edit that cone and completely trap them. I've been practicing pre-piece a lot in creative mode, and it's honestly game-changing. Once you get the hang of it, you'll start controlling fights way faster and better. You just have to stay calm and know when to use it. Also, you want to reset your edits a lot. If you place a build in front of someone, edit it, reset it, they'll break the wall and you can pre-fire them once again. It's a little quick trick to catch a lot of people off guard. A lot of pros do it and it's really good. Alright, and when you're in a fight, you've got to figure out how your opponent plays. We've gone over this a little bit, but we're going to go deeper into it. And you've got to do it fast. Like in the first 10 seconds of your fight, you'll want to try and figure out if they're aggressive, defensive, or just overbuilding like crazy. If they're super aggressive, play more defensively and then make the mistakes. Aggressive players usually overcommit, which means they'll burn through their mats and leave themselves open for you to counter. If they're overbuilding, don't waste your own mats trying to keep up. Instead, look for ways to knock them down or catch them off guard when they're reloading or healing or pressuring your box. If they're playing scared and avoiding the fight, take control and pressure them. The best players in the world are super good at reading their opponents and adapting to their strategy instantly. That's why pro fights don't last that long. Like PETERBOT, he gets a fight over in sometimes like 5 seconds. They figure out what their opponent is doing and shut it down fast, leave no room for error as well. I've been focusing on this a lot more in my games, and it's made a huge difference in how I handle fights and how many fights I've actually been winning. I also got my most recent highest placement in the solo cash cup, even with being on 100+ ping, just because I knew how to outplay my opponents. And another thing that's super important but takes time to learn is your awareness. That's what we're going over a lot right now. The more you play, the better your awareness gets. But here's the thing, it's not just about grinding random games. If you want to get better, you've got to challenge yourself. You'll play ranked games, join tournaments, and push yourselves against tougher opponents. Also play scrims a lot. This is one of the best things for awareness. This forces you to think faster, react better, and improve your skills overall. Also, don't just play mindlessly. Watch your replays and look at what went wrong in fights and figure out how to fix it. And watch pros play too. I watch pros every single day. Seriously, you can learn so much just by watching how they move, build, and handle tough situations and or fights. The more you expose yourself to a high-level gameplay, the faster you'll improve. I've started doing this a lot more, and now I'm actually enjoying watching replays because I can see how I messed up and what I could have done better, what I can fix in the next fight so I don't mess that up again. Another huge thing is sound, and it's super important in Fortnite, one of the biggest things like in other games like Siege. Your ears can sometimes give you more information than your eyes, so pay attention to footsteps, reload sounds, healing noises, and building sounds. These little audio cues can tell you exactly where your opponent is and what they're doing. Like if you hear someone healing nearby, you know they're vulnerable for a few seconds, so that's your chance to push. If you hear them reloading, you can rush them while they're stuck in the animation, but make sure you're playing with good headphones too. If your headset has good directional sound, you'll be able to pinpoint where players are even if you can't see them. I always keep my volume up and listen carefully. It saved me so many times in fights. Also, don't listen to music when you're in tough situations or just in ranked tournaments or scrims in general. Music can mess you up a lot because it will mess with your audio cues and you just won't be as aware as usual. Alright, let's talk about resources for a second. Running out of materials or ammo in the middle of a fight is the worst, right? Well, always keep your eye on your mount count and don't overbuild if you're running low. If you're in a fight and you realize you're low on materials, start playing more defensively and try to reset the fight. Farm up and then re-engage when you're ready. And before you push a fight, make sure you're stocked up on ammo and mats. Looting efficiently is super important, especially in the early game. I always try to land in spots where I know I can get a lot of mats and ammos fast. Pros are really good at managing their resources because they know how important it is to have mats and ammo in those late game fights. Also, just make sure you're not doing anything stupid like just spraying randomly when you have low ammo, and in the early game you'll want to get as much as possible so that you're ready for any mid and end game fights. If you don't have good mats and ammo from the beginning of the game, you're going to be cooked for the rest of the game. It's just how it is. Alright, now let's get into some more rotations and positioning. This is one of the biggest things that separates good players from pros. Rotating early is the key in most situations. If you wait too long, you'll end up in bad spots with too many players around you. So always plan your rotation before the zone closes. Look at the map and figure out where the safest route is. If you can, rotate early and avoid congested areas where everyone's fighting. Also, use your natural terrain like rocks and trees around the map to your advantage. High ground isn't just about building, it's about finding good spots on the map like hills or cliffs where you can hold up a strong position and no one can counter you. And when you're rotating, keep an eye on other players. Avoid running straight into fights unless you're ready for them. And look for chances to third party and get easy eliminations. In every video I go over third parties because they are the biggest thing in Fortnite to take advantage of. If someone's low, or you see two people fight and get low, or one fight just finished, hurry and push, get the kill and get out of there. You also want to make sure that when you're third partying, there's no one else around and you don't get third party, because if you get third party, it will likely cook you as well. Recently, I've been trying to rotate smarter and it's helped me survive way longer in games. Like I said before, my solo cash cup placements have been a lot better just because I've been staying alive in endgame longer, just because of how smart my rotations are, and I'm always rotating on dead side. Finally, let's talk about aim. It doesn't matter how good your building or editing is if you can't hit your shots. I mean, any of them. Aim is what finishes fights. Spend time practicing your aim in creative maps or even using aim trainers like Kovacs. I also just recently made a video on the perfect routine on how to get better in under an hour, so make sure you guys go check that out. It has aim in there as well. Also, try to get good with all the types of weapons, not just your favorite ones. Be comfortable with all the shotguns, SMGs, ARs, and whatever else is in the game. And remember to keep your crosshair at head level when you're aiming, except for on some certain weapons you want to aim at body because you'll be more accurate. And this saves you time and helps you land more headshots. If your aim is solid, you'll win way more fights, even against players who might be better builders than you or edit faster than you, just because you can land a shot before them even realizing. I've been grinding my aim lately and it's definitely paid off in my games. My friend Scar has told me my aim's gotten better, and when we've 1v1 recently, my aim's gotten a lot better. He's still better than me, but I'll get there one day. And alright, so that's pretty much everything you need to know about mastering Fortnite IQ and awareness. Besides that, it takes a lot of time. It takes time, but if you stick to these tips and really work on them, you'll start seeing improvements fast. Remember, it's not just about playing a lot, it's about learning from every fight, every mistake, and every win. If this video helped you out, make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel, and use code NOTFLOW in the Fortnite item shop. Also, go check out my routine video I posted 2 days ago. It's really in-depth and it's really good if you guys want to get better at the game. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I love you all. Peace.